During the reign of the Nintendo Entertainment System, Mario may have been king of the mountain, but for me, nobody came close to Mega Man, and there was no video game on the original NES that held a candle to the Blue Bomber's second outing, Mega Man 2. This game took Mega Man from being just a pretty good game and established it as a real franchise and a major player in the 8-bit era. As a kid, this was the first game that truly captivated me. I felt drawn into the story and I just couldn't wait to put a stop to the plot of the evil Dr. Wily. This video will not be a critical review of the game, but will instead be a look back at one of my favorite video games of all time, and a look at the game that has been heralded by many as one of the greatest games of the console generation. This is a look back at Mega Man 2. The game opens with a brief bit of story, talking about Mega Man's initial outing and letting us know what happened in the past, as well as a call for the hero to come back to stop Dr. Wily once more. This was before we realized that every game would end up revolving around Wily and his insanely flawed plots for world domination. And Mega Man took the premise of the original and expanded and improved on it in virtually every way. The 6 Robot Masters were expanded to 8. The original Robot Masters were stolen from Dr. Light and repurposed for evil, but these robots were Wily's creations, made for the sole purpose of domination. There was Woodman, which always seemed like a strange premise for a robot. Metal Man, which despite the name seemed quite on the nose for a robot that was one of the coolest bosses of the original series. Quick Man, who controlled a powerful boomerang. Crash Man, who wanted to use his bombs to obliterate Mega Man. Heat Man, a walking furnace. Bubble Man, which was an oddball using bubbles to attack a robot. Air Man, who was literally a fan with arms and legs. And Flash Man, who could freeze time. There are many lineups throughout the series that stand out, but for me, this roster of Robot Masters was the most solid of the series. The level design had evolved greatly from the first. The original Mega Man had several spots that just felt unfair, and you couldn't really do anything to avoid taking damage, but here the issue seemed to be mostly resolved. Of course, there was the insta-kill hell of Bubble Man stage, but each level was built with care, letting you grasp the theme of each level quickly before ramping up the difficulty, which would then taper off as you near the boss, giving you a chance to farm and regain health and replenish your special weapons before the battles. The control of Mega Man himself had also improved, sticking to landing on jumps more than the original, where he sometimes felt like he'd been stomping through butter before embarking on his quest. The ability to choose the order on which you take on each level had been revolutionary in the first game and carried over to Mega Man 2. Now, later games it would sometimes seem like you had to defeat bosses in a specific order or you couldn't progress, but here, with enough patience and skill, you can stand a fair chance against any of the Robot Masters, using only the Mega Buster. Mega Man was also given 3 special abilities to use this time around that he could pick up during the battles with Robot Masters. These special abilities could help make some of the harder platform sections a lot easier, and in later chapters of the game would be essential and thus weren't missable. Learning from the quite missable special ability in the first game where you needed it in order to beat the game. Wily Castle made its debut in this game as well, and was your reward for defeating the 8 bosses. These levels were some of the most fun in the franchise, taking everything you've learned from earlier stages and putting it to the test here. There was of course the tedious chore of taking on all 8 Robot Masters again, but if you learned the weaknesses of the bosses before, they aren't too hard to deal with. Wily's fight was a multi-stage battle where you defeat him and then leave him there to think about what he's done. The game ends with Mega Man walking away, seemingly determined to leave this life behind and retire. But unfortunately for him, he's going to be called back time and time again because there's still value in the franchise, so Capcom will continue to find new ways for Wily to try and take over the world. I mean, of course they will. There's money to be made, so sorry Mega Man, you're a slave to the machine now. I hope this look back brings as many fond memories for you as it did for me in making this. Mega Man 2 is pretty easy to find these days on all of the major consoles as part of the Mega Man Legacy Collection. It's a pretty quick game to plow through if you've got a good handle on the controls and concept, but it's packed with enough action to make it worth revisiting whenever you want to kill a little bit of time. So please fire up your Mega Buster, blast the notification button to see more videos, as I'm all over the place in terms of what I'm doing right now on here, so there's going to be a wide variety of content. And please leave a comment letting me know what you think of this video. This has been Vincent Cross, pro wrestler, graphic designer, and an unhinged nerd. Thanks for watching.